Today we have with us Executive Director Eileen Kravetz. She joins us from the Tualatin Hills Park Foundation, where she works to build and create awareness and support for the Park Foundation. She's also helping to build a more equitable use of recreation opportunities among our region's diverse communities. Please welcome Eileen.
Thank you. I don't even know if I need a mic, do I? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm Eileen. I'm from the Park Foundation. I've been with them for about 2.5 years. The mission that we have is to raise money for people within the district who can't access the resources. And so the first question I get whenever I approach anyone to do fundraising is, well, why do you need money for a district? Because they're a rich district and there are lots of resources and they're a government agency. Like, why would we give money to that? And my answer is that you're not actually giving money to the district. You're giving money to individuals within the district. So even though we are a rich district, there are a lot of people, as you are well aware, being in Forest Grove, right, that are low income or challenged in many ways, right? And it's a very diverse county, Washington County, the most diverse within our state. So we pay for things like swim lessons for people who can't afford swim lessons, or programs that wouldn't happen. I think we did a Rotary program that was with the Beaverton Rotary. So they did Peace Village, which was during the summer. I think it was right before COVID. But Peace Village summer camp for kids that was in conjunction with Rotary. So we do programs. If Rotary hadn't provided that program, we wouldn't have had it because it's not in the budget. So it's not really helping the district, it's helping the kids or the families that are accessing these programs that we are paying for that the district can't afford. It's not in the budget, right? And they have their priorities. Okay, so THPRDS is the largest district within the state. They serve over 250,000 people. That's a lot. There's 100+ parks, 6 recreation centers, 70 miles of trails, and hundreds of fields and courts. And I can attest to this. I lived in Beaverton over 25 years. I live behind one of the trails. I use it almost every day. I see my neighbors and all the people out there using it, and it's just a wonderful asset to our community. Like I said before, we support access, so not everyone can pay. Not all programming can happen. So we provide a lot of programming for those who are ability challenged. So we have provided a camp called Camp Rivendell, which is a camp for adults who are developmentally disabled. We provide a triathlon for youth who are disabled. Another function that we provide is that we are a repository for friends groups. So I don't know if you have a senior center here in Forest Grove, so they have Friends of the Senior Center. And so if we do all of the banking and accounting for those people, because the district is a government agency, they can't keep monies that are not theirs. So we serve as a repository for those monies. So if we were not doing that, then they would have to be their own 501(c), and they would have to raise their own, they do raise their own funds, but account and manage their own funds. So there's several friends groups that we house, and that is Friends of Elsie Stir, Friends of Conestoga, Friends of the Nature Park, and there's several more. But anyway, we serve as a repository for those groups. And then we help with capital campaigns. So I would say this, it's a little confusing right now because we haven't helped with any capital campaigns because guess what, we've been in a pandemic and there's not much capital campaign going on right now. but we have helped in the past. So our foundation was founded in 1958. They never had an executive director. Again, I was hired 2.5 years ago in 2019. I'm not good at this. Okay, we have a board of directors of 12 people, and there really are no restrictions on being on our board, except for that most of the people who are on our board live in the Beaverton area. So Tualatin Hills is a service district, and it fairly much covers the Beaverton school district boundaries, give or take just a little bit, but it's mostly in the Beaverton area. So a lot of the people who are on our board live in Beaverton, but some of them do not. We raise funds, like I said, so we have different ways we raise funds. We do our legacy circle, which is in your brochure, so it's $1,200 a year for 3 years, and people pledge that. And that has been the main way that they were able to hire me, through those pledges. We also do capital campaigns, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And then, of course, individual giving. So we have a website, and you can make donations online. The biggest thing that the foundation has been known for is in 2017, they raised, now this is before me, so I can't take credit for it, 1.5 million to enhance Mountain View Champions Park. So Mountain View Champions is right at TV Highway and it's 170th, right next to Mountain View Champions School. So the district would, when they're going to open up a park, right? And they've got the land, they have bond measure, et cetera. So why did they need our help in that capital campaign? Well, what we did, and again, I say we loosely because I didn't do any of it, that was before I came on board, but they raised the money to make the park all accessible. So there was no accessible park in Beaverton at the time. So all of the playground equipment is wheelchair accessible for kids who are in wheelchair. There's one ball field there which is wheelchair accessible, so a lot of the nonprofits that are focused around sports, like adaptive sports, and there's a couple of others, they do wheelchair training on that field. So there are many things around the park that we did to enhance it, to make it accessible, and that's what the money was raised for. In 2019, when I came on, we started an initiative called Access for All, meaning that right before I came on, they were very focused, the foundation, in the disability area, and they did most of their products for disability or those who are access challenged. And so, in 2019, Access for All opened up who should get access. So there's lots of people who are unable to access, and that's low income, cultural language barriers, people who can't get transportation to the swim center or the senior centers, senior citizens, right? And those who can't afford to go to the senior center, which is a huge opportunity for seniors in our community. So COVID hit, and we were trying to raise money for programs that weren't happening. It was really hard, I'll just say that. So we pivoted a little bit, and I absolutely hate that word pivoted, I'll be so glad when we don't have to use it anymore. And we looked at, well, what can we do in this time period to still help people get access? And we moved to 2 types of programming. One was called mobile recreation. So THPRDS has these vans, and they take them out to low-income housing or the senior center or to the parks, and they would do programming there. And so, for instance, there's lots of, let me get my next card, and I can tell you exactly, and I wrote them down, the different programs that they have. mobile recreation, or recmobile, nature mobile, so we took nature programming, wellness on wheels, so things that are educational, fitness in the park, so yoga in the park, other things, tai chi in the park, adaptive recreation, so that would be things like those wheelchair classes that I was talking about, training on the field, art in the park, and we did two specific fundraising campaigns. One was for holiday kits, so in December, kids came out and they went home with a backpack with things in it that they could take home, do art projects or things at home, as well as at the park. And then we did a campaign for Elsie Stir. Wish I were more coordinated, that would be helpful. Then the other thing we did was Talking Walls. So Talking Walls is a project that we coordinated with Beaverton School District and another nonprofit called Outside the Lines, Color Outside the Lines. And they are murals, and they're culturally specific murals, and in THPRD parks. So we worked with the district to find spots where we can do these murals, and then we hire local artists to paint the murals. And what Color Outside the Line did was they recruited kids and teens, so middle schoolers and high schoolers, to work with the artists to create the art. So it's a very cool thing. There are 3 locations of Talking Walls. We worked mostly, I guess, or not, I can't say for sure 100%, but BIPOC student artists and BIPOC artists. And the whole program was designed to focus on celebrating culture, educating people about different cultures, and embracing those cultures within our community. And so the first one was at Sunset High School. I'm going to show you pictures in a minute. Sunset High School, which was a focus on Black Lives Matter. And we worked with the Black Student Union there to develop that location and the artists that were working with. And sadly, the gal who was the chairperson, I don't know her name, but her title is president or chairperson, but she was recently murdered downtown Portland. It's very sad. She worked with us on the project. Then we did Greenway. So Greenway Park is focused on Native American art. And there's 3 different murals at Greenway Park. And then the last one we did was just about 6 months ago, was at the HMT Center, which is at 158th and Walker. It's the big center. And we did a focus on Latinx art, and there were like 8 murals there. Okay, so I'm going to show you the slides, or I'm not sure because this is not my computer. What do I hit? Slideshow?
Just the arrow keys.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so here is a picture of Mountain View Champions that I talked about. This is one of the pieces of playground equipment that we did. And I'll tell you a short story about when I first took on this job. I was downtown at a networking event a friend of mine put on, and there is a park on the east side called Harper's Playground. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it is accessible for disabled children. And so I sat down next to someone, and she asked me what I did, and I said, oh, I just took this job at the Park Foundation. It's really cool what we're doing. And she said, well, tell me a little bit about it. I told her about Mountain View, and she said that she started to cry. And she said that her daughter had MS, and they lived on the west side, but they would go all the way to the east side to go to the playground because there were no accessible playgrounds on this side. So I don't know if you believe in coincidences or God, but I thought, like, to myself, it was my first week on the job. I thought, well, wow, this is an amazing opportunity for me to give back to my community. People really need it. This is a picture of the mobile rec van that they take out. They have many of them, but they take a lot of them to low-income housing projects. And so part of what we pay for is like walls and jump ropes and arts and crafts supplies, and so they can go do this at the low housing, in low-income housing projects. This is just a picture of fitness in the park, so they're doing what looks like some yoga stretches here. Again, we did a campaign for the reopening of Elsie Stir. So Elsie Stir is a senior center in downtown Beaverton. They were closed during the pandemic. They were one of the last ones to reopen because of the fact that the vulnerable community of the seniors. But a lot of people who utilize Elsie Stir, really it was their social hub, and it was a huge loss for them to not be able to go there. So anyway, we did a campaign where we raised money and we just gave gift cards to people so that they could pay the fees to re-enter Elsie's. Here's the Black Lives Matter, the walls that were painted. One of the walls at Greenway, another one at Greenway. They're just beautiful pieces of art, and they enhance our community and the celebration of diversity in our community. These are the ones that were just done at HMT. So these are focused on the Latinx. And what was really interesting about this to me is so many of them had incorporated monarch butterflies within their art, which seemed to be a symbolic part of what they feel is part of their culture. It's really interesting, I didn't know that. Here we go. So one of the things we do, we're not allowed to say Easter because THPRD is a government agency, but we pay for this silent egg hunt for kids with autism, because oftentimes if they go to egg hunts, it's overwhelming for them, the stimulation, and so we provide that for those families right around Easter time. And then these were the holiday kits that we provided for youth. And the last thing I'm gonna say is here is our website, and I have brochures. I didn't bring a card, but my name and contact information is in our brochure. You can go on our website. But this really is how we raise money. I mean, anyone can go to our website and make a donation, but in order for us to expand and continue to do a lot of these programs, we need our legacy circles. So these people really sustain us and make these programs happen, because they make me happen, and then I can go into the community. I'm a part-time ED, so I'm a 0.6, and I am the only employee of the foundation. So we really do have minimal expense. I will tell you, I don't make that much money, but without me, it's very difficult for the foundation to do the things they want to do. So thank you. I guess I should ask if there's any questions. That might be an appropriate thing to do. Okay, oh yeah.
So you mentioned a couple times, the second doing some really good outreach, cultural outreach, and with diversity in Beaverton, you're getting residents there who come from very different experiences than mine, which was growing up in nature, hiking through the woods by myself was a safe place. For a lot of people in the world, that's not true. Are you finding success with your outreach and getting people to be more involved with nature programs and recreation?
We are. I think, we could do so much more programming if we had more funds. So that isn't really an issue. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.